Okay, another day again, special time once again to reminisce about our relationship, especially in marriage, which I know, as I always say, it's an institution that not of man's choice, not of man's opinion, not of man's plan, but marriage predates, man's principles and man's philosophy. So today we are privileged again to see and to have another time together. I believe it is not a time wasted. I could, and I remember when I was going to start this, I felt no, this has no importance at all. But from people's response that I get from private, calls and the rest, I think it worth it. So I believe someone out there is benefiting, and someone is kind of gleaning out of everything that we got to discourse. So, and I believe today I am considering very sensitive um, aspect of societal ills, which I know it is being institutionalized and in the system that breaking out of it has become a very difficult thing. And like I told you, when it comes to sex in marriage, we cannot overemphasize and we cannot underestimate it, and we cannot say it all when it comes to the aspect of sex in marriage. What it could cause, the effect of it, and what other thing, lack of it, overdoing it. I mean, on whatever pendulum or roller coaster or you know whichever you want to look at it. When it comes to sex and marriage, a lot of things are involved. A lot of things are involved. And therefore, I feel having experience of interacting with people that have been labeled, RSOs, registered sex offenders. And I do not in any way want to say that I am 100% supporting the acts of, inhumane and irresponsible people who take advantage of that to kind of molest, other people. No, but I'm kind of looking at the root cause. Why are people behaving that way? And what could make people to go that far, to molest others, or to kind of take advantage of people who don't have the strength, who doesn't have a voice. And that's why I want us to focus on sexual offense in marriage. And what could cause that? What could cause sexual offense? What could be the root, the cause for infidelity? What could be the cause for cheating in marriage? And anything unhealthy. Anything unhealthy. And I think if we would be fair to ourselves and to be honest to ourselves, I believe every societal ill or every wrong thing that affects the society, or anything, any given identified or sovereign given nation, or anything that you could call, I think all home should be the pointer. Home should be the pointer. Anything that goes wrong in the home, definitely you should expect something going wrong outside home, because people leave home to go somewhere. Because home is where they belong. Home is where they start. Home is where they're coming from. Home is where they were born. Home is where they are raised up. Home is where it's expected that they should be nurturing. Whatever your belief is as a Christian, now what does the Bible say concerning, spiritual life, living a life that is acceptable, or because I don't want to say moral, because when it comes to moral life, there are systems out there, there are tools out there that are meant to call our attention to living a moral life. But why is it that even with those set up, but yet we struggle with those structures that have been placed for us to live a life that is healthy, a life that is moral, life that is that our beliefs could kind of hold us responsible, So it's something that I struggle with, and I believe some of you are struggling with the same. Now, this brings me to to be hanging between Sigmund Freud and J. Adams. These are two big people. These are two giants. Adams. I would say the founder of biblical, counseling, who believe that every problem that today happens with us, whichever way, emotionally, psychologically, physically, anything, is as a result of sin. It's as a result of sin. Anything that happens to us, whatever stress that we are going through, and no matter what the stressors are, or whatever are the prognosis as regards to our stress, as far as is concerned, we need to trace back to the sin. And to the other guy, that is why we are hanging in between for Sigmund Freud. Now, any emotional, psychological, physical, anything that he said, you know what? Sex is the problem. So when I say sex, I don't mean gender. I don't mean, but sexual intercourse. So Sigmund Freud believed that we are created beings, that we are connected to that very particular aspect, that our thoughts, our our emotions, our feelings, all is attached to sex. So if you're having bipolar, you're having schizophrenia, you're having dissociative disorder, you're having paranoia, you are paranoia, you are, all of this need to be traced to that. So you see now, going to this guy, I mean, Sigmund Freud, come on, let's look at it. And J. Adams, of course, humanity suffers, limitation of wisdom, of knowledge, of, and of course, we have this sin that we struggle with. I believe the heart of man is desperate, of course, of many things. So when the Bible says desperately wicked, so that's not how God created the man. God created man as a perfect being. God created man as, because he created the man in his own image. So in that case, meaning something went wrong. So now here is one of those things that we struggle with, which is sex offense, offending someone sexually. Trying to take advantage of someone sexually, trying to, use your force, trying to use your voice, trying to use your power against someone that has less power than you, or that has no voice to kind of create stress for that person. But my problem, the question I'm asking is, could or can these people who are found in that, could they be given second chance or not? Or is this something that completely they committed sin that cannot be forgiven? That's the problem. Remember, I'm not here to preach, so I'm here because I'm dealing with what is more of the struggle that we go through that affects the quality of our marriage. But as a Christian, I find that opportunity or the privilege for me to go in there, and when he comes to be pointing at you, you to what is the ideal, of course. So that is why I'm kind of trying to go there to say that, hey, listen, this person is being labeled RSO, registered sex offender. And when such people are found, the next thing is, they are thrown into jail or into prison. And after some time, they are out. And when they are out, the truth is, some of them, from my interaction with some of them, they said, why am I out here? Because nobody would want to identify himself with me. Nobody would want to give me a job to do. Nobody would want me near to his family. Nobody would want me near to. So, in essence, from what I'm hearing, it's absolutely trying to say that these people are condemned people. Is it true? Are they? Is it the only sin that is unpardonable? I remember I'm not in support of their actions, no. But I'm only looking at it from the point of grace, from the point of forgiveness, from the point of second chance. Are they useful or not? If they're useful, is there any way we can transform? We can give them what is needed to make them, reconsider, renew their minds, according to Romans 12, verse 2. So these are some things that I'm kind of, now yesterday I was watching, I can't remember whether from the Facebook or I don't know which of the social media. Here comes this guy that was caught in an adultery or fornication. And this guy was, my body is even, kind of, because I could not even finish watching it. But this guy, they caught him because they say he raped, which is, of course, I don't support that. I don't support it at all. But here comes this guy, a whole mammoth crowd of people bringing this guy, in the public. They tore his manhood apart, tore it, like kind of rip it up. Now, would that stop people from raping people? Ripping his manhood apart, because ripping it, literally alive, would that really stop? Yes, it will send signal. Yes, some people, but remember, we're dealing with sin. And remember, the sin, who knows, this guy that that is in question, who knows, if you sit him down and ask him where is he from, oh, the family, this family, who are the family? You find out probably the family is apart. It's a family that nobody cares what goes on in the home. Probably that, this is the family that mom and dad don't even talk to each other. It's a family that, mom and dad are probably separate, and nobody is saying anything to him. Nobody is helping him. And whatever happens, the body, kind of asked for something that he did not count in terms of his choices, not knowing that the choice he made could get him to. He didn't know. But what I'm saying, don't say that. I mean, get me right. When I say he didn't know, that doesn't mean that I said that was an intention. That wasn't. It was a deliberate action. But because at this particular moment, something is holding him captive. So definitely there are things that need to be considered. So that's what I'm going to focus on, in the next few minutes, like kind of to ask ourselves, what could cause a woman leave her home and go and sleep with another man, whether a married man or a young man or whatever? Infidelity, unhealthy, sexual relationship, and cheating, and all of that. What could cause the man or the woman? What could cause the man now and to go out there, leaving his home, go sleep with another woman, or sleep, with other girls, and probably taking advantage, Not only that, and what could cause, a man in his own home, get it right, a man in his own home, yet the wife is there, but yet he couldn't hold it. Maybe his own daughter, to go to bed with her, or his own, sister-in-law, or anybody in the home that he provides the roof, but still can go ahead, begin to nurse, look at this probably young girl or that daughter of his, lustful, and before you know, he falls into it and go to bed with that person. Many, many are out there that are not yet caught, and they're living free in the society because nobody has caught them yet. And there are many women who today, because of probably such kind of events in their life, trauma that happen now, they're misbehaving in their home. You don't know, but you keep saying, why should this woman behave this way? Why is she that way? But because you don't know, she tried to hide it, and is haunting her, and is having, negative impact, on her. And that's why probably some of those kids that are out there in school behave the way they, and you don't know why. And that's why, in countries like African, those countries that systems are not well tightened, that, to that people I mean, on watch to see who is offending, who is really, I mean, in that act of, relationship, unhealthy relationship that could make them, that's many actually are prostitute as a result of that. Why? Because someone took advantage of this young girl, and she would just say, well, you know what, I mean, that's no any other way to go about it than to just go out there and mess up with my life. And that's it. I met, before I left, Africa, I've met 18, 19 girl in the brothel selling their body. When you ask them, because I had the privilege of working with them, with a ministry called Urban Frontier Mission. When you ask those people, and they will tell you, well, because this is what happened, my dad, did that, and so I felt, well, I felt ashamed and guilt, and I felt, what is life after all? After all, let me go out there and just, and some of them, because they couldn't take care of their father couldn't take care of them, and then they're looking for a way out. But I believe someone had started. But let's narrow it back to the home, because I'm dealing with clients who are struggling with this. I'm dealing with clients who are struggling with this. Client who have come now asking for transformation. Client who want to change, and some of them would ask me now, I don't know what do you think I can be of help out there, because from experience of many people that we've asked them, they say they don't get hired. Normally you have to, because they have to do what they call background check. And so when you apply for this job, and when they do their background check, because you don't want them to even do it, you got to tell them up front, this is my identity. See, this is my identity. So because of that, and now they struggle. Some of them, because they say, okay, I'm going to end it like that. I'm going to continue like that. I will just live in my addiction, trying to just numb it, trying to kind of find a way of escape, by drunkenness, by killing myself with all kinds of smoke and whatever form of drugging. I'll drug myself to death until I die, and that's it. So that's it. I'm at the end of my life. But like I said, let's narrow it to home, because we're talking about, I'm talking about sexual offense in marriage. Let me sound this warning to those who are married. I want to sound, it's a warning. I'm sounding there as a warning. Listen, if you think that thing that you have, you as a woman, you think you can use it, because last week I talked about vindictiveness, to be vindictive in your attitude, in your behavior to your man or to your wife, because in different ways, but now you're using your body that the Bible says is not yours. As a man, it's not yours. As a woman, it's not yours. Then you decide to use that to say that you want to now use it as a form of attack to your husband or to your wife. Let me tell you something. You might succeed in that, but I mean, on the other hand, you're harming yourself. You're harming the marriage. You're harming the marriage and you're harming yourself. How? Okay. What are the factors that could cause, in marriage? What are those factors that could cause, sexual infidelity, or cheating in marriage, or any unhealthy? What? Let's look at the factors. One of the factors is psychological problem. People are dealing with things that you kind of wonder what is happening, what is going on. She is not acting right. He is not acting right. Instead of you to find out psychologically, he behaves somehow that I don't understand. And because you found out about that, you cut off from your wife, or you cut off from your husband. Because of that, you cut off from him. Now, you have something that you're supposed to give, to help him with, which is your body that belongs to him. Because of that, you cut off from him. Remember, when you cut off from him, he doesn't get it from you. He needs somewhere. He's going to look for somewhere to what? To take care of his problem. And because of looking for somewhere to go, because you are in there with him in the same home, and before you know it, it's probably your daughter, it's probably your sister, it's probably your friend. And if your friend does not really like it, but because he is forcing it into her, the next thing is he's caught. Prison. Another, factor could be spiritual factor. Well, he doesn't want to go to church. He doesn't want to read the Bible. He doesn't want to have devotion in the home. He doesn't want this. He doesn't want that. I mean, he doesn't care about his spiritual life. I mean, he as a Christian, he doesn't do that. Now you want to use your spirituality as a form of vindictiveness, as a form of attacking. And because of that, before you know, the same man that you used to enjoy in bed, he is no more interested in you because he went there to have it with you. Once you said no, second time you said no, third time you said no, fourth time you said no. Guess what? He doesn't care. Whatever. That's the English or whatever. She thinks she's the only one I can go anywhere. But to some people who think, well, the lesser evil would be that not to go out there for people to see me, let me do it in here. And when he do it inside with your daughter or with your sister or with your friend or with someone, he's going to be caught. They say, a million times for the owner, sorry, for the thief, but one day for the owner. You might get away with it a million times, but one day they're going to cut you. Because as I sound this morning, I'm looking at, to the perpetrators, and of course to those who are victimized, and to those who are responsible to making this happen, because it's the home. It's the home. Social, factors. You are used to going there, going to this party, going to that party, going to that party, going to that this. socializing here, doing all of these things, and before you know, quote unquote, oh, this she's beautiful, she knows how to talk, or she, before you know, you see someone that is not consenting, or you want to force yourself into that person. The next thing is what? RSO. Because they're going to call the police on you. And what? They dump you in the prison. Yeah, you solve your charges, and you're out. Your life is messed up. But yet I'm trying to hold, I'm trying to say, hey, how are you holding to your husband? How are you holding to your wife? Do you see? I mean, because of your wife's behavior, so now she needed you. She's alone. She's lonely, and you don't want to help her out. Listen, she's gonna, your brother or her maid, the one that you have, in the house, to help her with some things. She's going to use that person to help herself. Yes. And of course, emotional problems are there. Maybe because either the man or the woman, is responsible for the emotions that are there, emotions that person is struggling with. And remember, when it comes to emotional personality, and because we are different, right? So now remember we talked about, sex and marriage. Now, I said, the way we are wired differently. Sometimes some people, as a result of their personality, I mean, they might have a high sex drive, or, because of some way God had made them, some are hyperactive, some are this and that. And now because you don't feel like, or she doesn't feel like, and the next thing is, a gap will be created, that this woman will be lonely, you are not there for her, or this man will be lonely, you are not there for him. And the next thing is, I mean, they say, in Nigeria, one of our brothers, say body no be wood. That's what they say, body no be wood. So because body no be wood, meaning our bodies, I mean, are not, our bodies are living, our bodies, I mean, they are sensitive, they have a need, it's not stone that doesn't, need nothing, or wood doesn't need nothing. It's a dead thing. But the body is not a dead thing. The body needs to be fed, so now if the body needs to be fed, now remember, you do not want to create any stress in the mind that would make the mind wander away. So, the body, God created this for a purpose, and he wants us to use it for that purpose, not for any other purposes. If you think you're saving your thing, I mean, you're down there from whatever you want to think, death can come today and just take your husband away. And if truly you love him, and now you're thinking that's the only thing you could for you to use to punish him, he's gone. Now you're safe from that wicked man, right? Probably you say that. And you think you're going to have another man who is different from that one. Okay? Who knows? I know that's what we always say. She's bad. We are not a match. We are not compatible. We are not. Who would go out there and still struggle to find the compatible one? I've seen people here who have married 5 times, 7 times, which is to them it's not wrong. It's not a sin, because that's not polygamy, right? Because I didn't marry 7 women at once. That's not polygamy. Because I married this one and we are not compatible. We are not compatible. We are not compatible. We are not. She's wicked. She messed with my feeling. She doesn't want to do that. Or he is not, or he is not. And yeah, thank you, Reverend David. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Any comment is welcome. But that's because that's what is going on. What we see in other countries, other cultures, many people go. I mean, I'm not sure how many people. If I should go to Africa, how many people will be there in prison as sex offenders? I'm not sure how many I will find there. But here we have tons of them, dozens of. I mean, tons of them, sex offenders. Someone shared with me his story, exactly like I'm talking about. The wife, was complaining, because of that, you are this, you are this, you are this. He said he went like 3 years in his own home with his wife. They're laughing. She will go out there and laugh with him. But when they come back home, nope. It's a no-go area. Nope. Mm-mm. And he said, he couldn't handle it. Look at this. Here is his daughter that finds safety in him, that she loves him, that he's always there. Anytime when he hugs her, he feels like, So the next thing is, before he knew, he couldn't believe it. He's into her. And it's not a one-time thing. That's why I said, listen, it's serious. While we hold these people responsible of their action, we need to also check ourselves. Let's check home. Home is the problem. Home is the problem. And now, what's your married? Before you even marry, I always emphasize premarital counseling is very, very important. Very, very important. And to pastors, please stop preaching when you go for premarital counseling. Please stop preaching. It's not about, no. They've been there in your church for all this while. They've heard about, seeing, they heard about this or that. Please, direct them, let them know exactly what are the things that they expect they should expect in marriage. How they should understand their body and the dangers of not doing the dangers of not doing that, the advantage of that, benefit of this. That's what you want to talk to them before they get married, not to go preach to them. God said we should. God made a man and a woman, and of course they should multiply, subdue, and multiply. A marriage is no. Go deeper than that. How many people read the book of Song of Songs as a way of enhancing their marriage, or as a way of informing themselves to say that, yes, I need to know, because if you read the book, if you read Song of Songs, it's a love book. There's no doubt about it. It's a love book. So pastors, listen, I'm saying this to you guys. You better start preaching from that book to men and women, and even to those who are intended to. You better start preaching and teaching from that. But you don't expect them to, after they get married, and you're like, okay, you don't read books, because you didn't introduce them to it. You didn't really point them to. You didn't tell them that that's what they needed. Enhance while they learn, while they try to walk with God. This is what God has for them. So that's why one of the factors is the lack of proper knowledge of what to do before marriage. Lack of information. Because those who even, I'm sorry to say, I know background check is always, I've gone through different background checks, before I could even start counseling here. I had to go through several, during my practicum, during my my internship, and of course counseling in some of these counseling centers. You can't do. They have to check you if you're safe around men, around women, around children. So, but we wouldn't have those guys out there if home is well handled. Because when I sit with these people who are found, as perpetrators or as offenders, or as listen, my heart breaks. My heart all the time. Why? Because while I hold them responsible, but I feel some, empathy towards them as regards to why it happens. And why, when they are back, they regretted their action. Of course, listen, whoever that thing happened to him, now the issue is, would excommunicating this person, with cutting this person, would it change what really had happened to that person? No. But let's find a way of transforming both the two sides, the victim and the victimizer, because both of them are traumatized, are psychologically, dysfunctional. Guys, I can go on and on this because it's a serious case. That's why I said from the beginning, I said, hey, this is serious. Why? Because the society, for the society to be nice, to be good, to be healthy, home needs to be first taken care of. We got to work on our homes. And wives and husbands, please, your sexual relationship need to be well, kind of given attention there. I don't know, because I don't want to judge any one of you out there. Oh, because I know a woman right now. One of the cases, oh, his thing is like this. It's small. It doesn't fit me. That's why I don't want him. And another one will come and say his own is like this. I know I can't carry it. See, that's a problem. It's a problem. That's not what sex is. Sex is not about how big the man is, how small the man is, how small his thing, how big his thing. No. How can I use that big thing? How can I use that small thing so that to avoid me being divorced, me being, a cause of this man or this woman into, going to prison or being disconnected from the society or completely, abandoned. And so these are the things we need to ask ourselves. Please, thank you. Wherever you're watching, I know I'm kind of a little bit emotional today, but yeah, it's one of those things. That's why I say, when it comes to, we can go on every day to just talk about sex. We wouldn't end it because of a lot of things that are related or associated with it in a marriage. So I hope that there's something that you want to do to change what happens there in home. There's something that you think, you can bring in to home to change things. So it's my prayer that God will help us, to check our lives and see what can affect our marriage in whatever way. It's not about just, okay, marriage is sweet, marriage is this, marriage enhancer, marriage whatever. There are things that we need to warn ourselves. There are things that we need to caution ourselves about it. So I pray that God will help us and to see how we can handle ourselves in a way that God will be pleased in everything. Thank you very much. I'll meet you again, next week. Bye-bye.